is the ability to detect weapons outside of our schools. It's not a pleasant topic. It's a sad topic, but we've watched too often in these tragic situations where these absolute lunatics have prepared themselves for school shootings outside in parking lots. And we are looking at products that give us another layer of protection. And I am going to ask you for your attention for a brief couple of minutes as Brett shares with us a product that he has called Zero Eyes. And I just want you to think of this conceptually for our schools, and we'll get into more specific details down the line. But I want you to be aware of something that we're looking at. So Brett, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you very clear, and what I would ask you to do is keep this very brief, 10, 15 minutes, but I would like the board, the viewing audience, the people in the studio audience to understand where we're going with this, okay? So Brett, I'll let you introduce yourself and take it away on this product.
Perfect, thank you, sir. Everyone, thanks for having me. My name is Brett Handel. I'm the Senior Director of Education Solutions for Zero Eyes, and I'm here to talk to you about our artificial intelligence computer vision gun detection software. So I'm going to share my screen. I have a few slides I want to run through so I can tell you about the software, and then I'll show you the user interface itself. But at its highest level, what Zero Eyes is, it's a software that layers on top of your school district's existing security cameras, turning those traditionally reactive cameras into a proactive gun detection system. So what makes Zero Eyes really unique from any other sort of weapon detection system out there is our human in the loop element. It's what we call the ZOC. That stands for Zero Eyes Operations Center. Think of the ZOC like a real-time crime center or a military command center. That's exactly what we're trying to mimic here. So if our software, if the AI detects an object that it believes is a gun, it sends a keyframe image to our operations center. Think of a keyframe image like a screenshot on your cell phone, if you would. Within 3 to 5 seconds, our analysts will verify whether or not that image is a threat, and they will dispatch alerts out to not just the school, but also first responders that covered your school's jurisdiction. For those ZOC analysts, they are all Zero Eyes employees in-house, and they are either former military or former law enforcement. So these are individuals that are not only trained and experienced at recognizing active threats, but they can also articulate what's going on in a calm, demeaning manner. Really, the sole purpose of the ZOC is to make sure the end user, being the school, never receive a false positive. We want to make sure that if there is a detection, that information gets through in an efficient manner and that there's never a false alarm that's set off. We are what I like to call camera agnostic, so we integrate with your existing security camera system, which the school spent lots and lots of dollars on, again, turning that into a proactive layer of security. And what Zero Eyes is really doing is providing situational awareness in time. And what I mean by that is exactly where the threat is, what they look like, what type of weapon they have, how long it's been since they were underneath each camera view with a firearm in hand. Going forward here, just to conceptualize it, you can see these are your school security cameras. If 20% or more of a gun is brandished underneath that camera for a millisecond or longer, our system gets a detection, it goes to our operations center, and within 3 to 5 seconds, they dispatch alerts out that don't only go out via phone calls, but you also get a visual that goes to the mobile application, the desktop application, and text message alerts. Today, Zero Eyes is about 85% veteran and former military owned and operated. We heavily recruit veterans because they are easily the most qualified individuals to occupy those ZOC analyst positions. And something that's really important to most school boards I present to is privacy. So we're 100% FERPA compliant. What I mean by that is Zero Eyes is not watching a live feed of your school's security cameras. There's no storing of biometric data. There's no bias towards race, gender, ethnicity, behavior. The AI is looking for one thing and one thing only. Is this object a gun or is it not? To date, Zero Eyes is deployed in over 255 school districts across 39 states. Closest to you would be Grand Island and Orchard Park School District, and I'd be more than happy to provide references if you need to speak with any of them. We had to make a pivot when COVID hit because students weren't in the classroom, and we started working with commercial and government entities. So we're trusted by Verizon, FedEx, Subaru, Home Depot, DHL, the Department of Defense, U.S. Air Force. I like to share this with you to know so that everyone in the crowd knows that we are an extremely trusted vendor. This is probably the most important information I'll share with you in this presentation. We get all of our data from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security. They have broken down school shootings into 3 different stages: the prep, active, and response stage. And what data shows is about 80% of the time there is a shooting at a school, that gun is brandished underneath one of your cameras anywhere from 2 minutes to 30 minutes before the first shot's fired. Now again, that's called the prep stage. That could be the threat mentally preparing themselves to go shoot unarmed civilians or their peers. It could be them physically preparing themselves by assembling a gun, hiding something under a coat, pulling it out of a book bag, approaching the school from a parking lot or a sports field, you name it. If you take Parkland, for example, what happened down in Broward County in 2018, 17 people shot and killed, another 17 shot and injured. The individual was underneath that stairwell camera for the first 20 seconds loading his semi-automatic weapon. He then was pacing back and forth for another 90 seconds, mentally preparing himself before going out that stairwell, down the first floor corridor, past several other cameras before the first shot was fired. Parkland, like many other schools, have hundreds and hundreds of IP cameras, but there's no way you can have someone monitoring every single camera feed 24/7, 365. That is where a solution like ZeroEyes comes into play. Once a shot is fired, that first shot, that's called the active stage, and that's really when that fog of war concept kicks in. And what I mean by that is hundreds of 911 calls with conflicting and inaccurate information. This can make it very confusing for first responders and ultimately delays response time. I believe the superintendent touched on this before. Good security comes in layers. We are very much part of your layered security on the proactive side, and what a lot of members in law enforcement will refer to as a left of bang solution. So we're stopping the threat at the first sight of a gun, not after a shot's been fired. I want to share some examples of detections and threats we've stopped. This is a 17-year-old female student, loaded handgun in the right hand, cell phone in the left hand. Our software got detection and dispatched this within 4 seconds. She was apprehended by a floating school resource officer within 90 seconds. Crisis averted, if you would. These are all detections from the past 90 days or so. I believe the earliest one was August 13th, all at school settings. In the top left, this is in a school parking lot late at night, gang-related activity, semi-automatic weapon detected right next to the bed of that truck. Bottom left, this is behind a school. You can see the timestamp, 2:38 a.m. These are kids horsing around. You don't know if that weapon is being staged for a later, target, or if it's just people playing around. It ended up being an airsoft gun with the orange cap ripped off, but we are always going to err on the side of caution and dispatch those alerts through to the school so you have that situational awareness. On the right, this was at a subway platform outside a university. You can see there's dark skin, dark weapon, low resolution camera. The software has no problem picking up the gun. Same thing goes for the bottom right. This is in the basement of a school, low resolution camera. We got detection and dispatched it. It ended up being someone who had 2 warrants out for their arrest who was on school grounds without the school ever knowing. I'm going to stop sharing the presentation now, and I'm going to switch over to showing you what the user interface looks like. So can you confirm that you can see a black screen that says none in the middle?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is our internal user interface. And what I mean by that, this is what our operations center is looking at the majority of the time. Again, they're staring at a blank screen, not watching a live feed of your cameras. Once the artificial intelligence detects an object it believes is a gun, a loud nuclear alarm goes off in our ZOC. From this moment, they have 3 to 5 seconds to either click this dispatch button or mark it as a false positive. So these keyframe images come in a reverse chronological film strip, so first to last. You'll also see above the keyframe image is the camera name. So we're going to match your school's camera naming convention or camera nomenclature, if you would. Now I'm going to click through a couple of these detections so you can see how we're getting detections in as close to real time as it gets while the threat is holding the gun in different carry configurations. When the operator clicks this dispatch button, there are 2 phone calls that are made concurrently, so they're happening at the same time. One goes to our primary point of contact at the school, and the other call goes to the 911 dispatch center that covers your school's jurisdiction. You will have a live human on the other end telling you exactly what's going on, providing context behind these detections. At the same time those phone calls go out, this is what goes to the end users. So this is what will go to your cell phone, to the desktop app. It will be in the 911 dispatch center, in patrol cars. Pretend this building is one of your schools. These different pin drops represent the cameras that have 0 eyes. The greenish teal color pin drops I'm circling represent your cameras that have not detected a gun. The purple pin drops, however, represent your cameras that have detected a gun, and you can see how much time has lapsed since the threat was underneath that camera view. So when I click play here, you're going to see a bouncing icon. That represents the last known position. So if you're looking at this right, a minute 30 seconds ago, the threat was in the northeast side of the building. They then went southeast, then southwest a minute 25 seconds ago, then back to the northeast side of the building. Law enforcement's trained when you don't know where the active threat is, you're going through the entrance and you're clearing every room until you get to the threat. If I were to zoom out on this building, you'd see it's a 700,000 square foot facility. Having the situational awareness to know the threat is siloed to the back southwest side of the building dramatically cuts down response time and is what's giving back those precious seconds and precious minutes to first responders. That is really what I had for a presentation for you all today. I'd be happy to answer any questions or any feedback, but thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Brett. Can you turn your mic on?
My pleasure.
I'm getting a little feedback. Can you mute yourself? So
Would you like me to go on mute?
Yeah, please go on mute so I don't get the feedback. Thank you. I want to make a couple of comments and then I'll ask Chief to come forward. It's got to be sobering. We have a number of people in the audience because we're soon to have a celebration of graduates from the 1940s and 60s. So for those that are here, it's got to be kind of sobering that you would see this type of a presentation at a board meeting. It's, however, in my opinion, irresponsible not to continuously look for the best and most up-to-date security to save even 10 seconds for our kids in this school district. So our approach has been that we're always looking to do things better, more up-to-date, and to protect our kids in our community. I want to also stress, and I think, Brett, you were hitting on this does not use facial recognition software. I'm going to say it again for a particular reason. This does not use facial recognition software. This uses the same software that we're using with our Evolve entrance systems, artificial intelligence. And it's, you know, we have to embrace that technology. So I show you this for the reason that I want the community to know that we think we're at a great level of security and safety, but we need to continuously be on our best lookout for things that could even make us safer and more secure. Without that perception in the community, we're nothing. So I know that the chief, our chief, found this to be something interesting. I know there are multiple products out there. I do know, and I'm going to be very frank with you, there is one issue that we're trying to work through, and it really involves Ray and technology. This is applied to our cameras. In order to apply this to our cameras, we have to work to open up a portal system. Without getting too deep into what that means, is we are continuously, and I mean daily, fished. Not fished for fish. We're fished because people are always trying to break into our systems. And I know Ray's biggest concern, which it should be, is to make sure that there's no penetration of phishing on any of our systems. So it is a bit of a concern. We are in the very strong exploration stage of this type of a security system. We have some thoughts on it that we'll be bringing back to you soon. But I wanted you to be aware of it. And I like that there's a human element 24 hours a day watching and reporting. And if I've learned anything about these school tragedies or tragedies anywhere, 10 seconds saves a life, 5 seconds saves a life. So it's got some intrigue for me. Chief Del Porto, I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you want to add anything to this presentation? I know Chief has seen this in Grand Island. I also would tell you that the entire state of Utah has, the state of Utah education system has put this in every school already. So that's in every school in the state of Utah. So this is the coming technology. Chief?
And we've also touched base with Orchard Park, who has a How about now? Good. We also touched base with Orchard Park, who has this as well as Grand Island. It's, like Mr. Laurie said, it's the next layer of security. The key word, and I know Mr. Laurie said it, Brett said it, is time. During these events, should we be unfortunate enough to have one, time is what's going to save lives. The really great thing about this particular product as opposed to others, several things from a law enforcement standpoint. Number one, it's dispatching the police to the scene. It's not going through a layer of a school district, locking down the school, worrying about kids, calling me, calling Mr. Laurie. They are dispatching the police. So they're tied right into the police, so the police will be there. If we don't have an SRO right there, the police will be at the school as quickly as they possibly can. What I really like about it is that human element, because it's disposing of any false positives. And we know what kind of event could happen should a false positive happen. Now we're dealing with the same aftermath of an actual event when no event even occurred. So when we have that human element taking it out, and it's manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if they can identify a false positive and not send the school into a lockdown or lockout and dispatch police if it's unnecessary, that'll avoid a lot of issues for the school and keep the school running as it should. We're there for learning, not for locking down, so we'd like to avoid that. From a law enforcement standpoint, what's great, and they went through it pretty quickly, is that push pin breadcrumb trail of where the bad guy would be. And that's super important for law enforcement because, like Brett said, law enforcement's coming. They're coming in force. The closest officers are coming, and they're coming through whatever door they need to come through. And they're trained to go to the sound of gunfire should that happen. In this case, they're going to know where that is before they even get to the front door. So they're going to know what side of the building to go to. They're going to know where that person's moving, and they're going to get real-time updates where the movement of that bad guy is, which is super important when you talk about our bigger schools, Niagara Falls High School, LaSalle, Gaskill. They're huge schools. So if you're trying to clear a school immediately with 5 or 6 officers, that could take a long time. So knowing they're in the northwest corner of that building is going to save a lot of lives. So those are some of the really key points that I really like about this. It's like Mr. Laurie said, it's just the next layer. When you compound Zero Eyes along with the weapon detection systems, along with the capital projects that we're working on, secured vestibule, I think we're doing everything not only possible, but everything that exists to keep our schools safe and secure.
Any questions?
I will say yes, but I'll let Ray answer that question. No.
Yeah, there's certain requirements that cameras have to be, a certain IP digital level that they have to be. We're in the process actually tomorrow morning. We're reviewing next stage of capital projects where we're going to eliminate a whole pile of analog cameras that wouldn't be eligible. So my short answer is yes, we will be compliant with all digital perspectives soon.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Nick.
This detects a weapon visible. What about if somebody has an up in a book bag or under a coat or something like that? It will not detect it then?
No, it has to be visible for the
visible.
AI to kick in. However, but that's why we have the layered. So if they were to keep it in a backpack and bring it into the school, the weapon detection system should
But no,
should
I'm just
be
trying to
able-
get in my mind. So,
Yeah,
so in other words, from the parking lot to the front door, it could
Right.
be concealed.
And all the data shows, like Brett said, from the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, that if there is an active shooter event, that the active shooter will brandish that handgun before the event, sometimes up to 30 minutes before the event, whether they're getting it out of their car, walking up to the school, so we'll know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you've seen these insane people in the parking lot setting up That's what we're really, I mean, that, you know, we're trying to attack it early. God forbid, but I just do not want to leave a stone unturned.
Couple questions, Mark. Do we buy it or do we rent it?
We would purchase it. Now, what we're trying to do is get this to become BOCES aidable. We are trying very, very hard, and I'm in a superintendent's group with the superintendent of Niagara Wheatfield and the superintendent of Grand Island to get this BOCES aidable. So we have been lobbying our organizations, and we've been lobbying state in Albany to allow this to be BOCES aidable. But we would buy these. They're cost by camera. They've been resistant. We've told them that this is not artificial. This is artificial intelligence. This is not facial recognition. They've been very reluctant, but I'm not going to wait about a phishing attack or a BOCES aidable project to protect one kid. I'm just not doing it. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. One of my thoughts, when we get that far, would be to pilot this on, so you could put this on indoor and outdoor cameras. My thought would be to look at this for outdoor cameras at all schools, not just select Niagara Falls High School. I know it's big and but I would put this at all schools as an exterior approach on all exterior cameras to start, and then see if we need to bring it inside. Now, Brett, I'm going to hold you to this because this meeting is being televised worldwide, and the viewing audience has now hit almost 1 million. Brett promised me, sometimes I make things up. Brett promised me that if it does become BOCES aidable down the line, he will take that into consideration if we purchase it. Is that correct, Brett?
That is correct.
Thank you.
I have approval from my C-suite that if you enter into a contract with Zero Eyes and at any point in the middle of the contract we become co-servable or BOCES aidable, we will terminate the contract and re-execute the contract so you can get that state aid reimbursement. 100% on the record.
Just wanted to get you on the record. We have like 400 people here listening. I just wanted to get you on the record, that's all.
Tony?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Brian, one of my concerns is the city parking lot for the golf course adjacent to the high school. We're gonna have to protect that too, somehow, close by, just on the property line or whatever, because there's a lot of our students that park there. And, you know, I see it all the time working for the city, and I drive by it. There's a lot of vehicles in there, so I just wanna make sure that, you know,
I can tell you, and I think Ray will agree, a lot of our exterior cameras at Niagara Falls High School cover that parking lot. So anywhere that our cameras cover will be covered by Zero Eyes. You know, we could always look at expanding the camera coverage down the road to make that closer up. It's a long distance.
And Ray makes a good point. We're adding 300 cameras at least. I would say 300. We're adding 300 more cameras across the district in this next capital project. 300 more. Now, Mr. Pareto asked that because I've seen him play golf, and many of his errant shots end up in the parking lot, and he would like to help looking for his ball. That will not help. I'm kidding. Come on. Any other questions?
Yes, Mark, upgrades. As your system upgrades, Brett, how do you handle it?
Every client of Zero Eyes receives free upgrades for the lifetime of the partnership. So if there's ever a moment where our software is able to detect something other than firearms, say large edged weapons or anything like that, you as a client will receive that upgrade free of charge. You're also locked into the same pricing for the lifetime of the partnership. So even if our costs increase, you will maintain your same per camera price point.
Yeah, that's how our Evolve agreement goes. So we appreciate that because technology is changing as we're sitting here. So that's an important question, important answer. Other questions? Brett, thank you very much. We appreciate, and we will be in touch.
My pleasure. Thank you for the platform. And if anyone has questions, you know where to find me. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks. So it's an interest. Thank you, Chief. It's an interesting tool. Again, for those that are listening, and I hope we have a lot listening on the web, our goal is to continue to scaffold up every piece of security that we can have to make our kids feel safe and our community feel safe. Mr. President, I would like to ask that we do an agenda review, and then we'll get into our ceremony. So if we could put the agenda up. There has only been one change, and I'm going to ask Ms. Massaro also to come forward in a moment. But once we have it up, we'll put the, we'll do the agenda now so that we don't have to interrupt our presentations. So at 7 o'clock, you've got your usual business, et cetera, et cetera. There are no bids. I'll stop there and ask Ms. Massaro to come forward unless there's questions at 4:06 and 4:07. So would you please do the honors of presenting the certificate and classified reports and also any addendums we may have. Thank you.
All right, let's start with the classified report that I just handed you this evening. This is an updated classified report from the one that you received earlier this week. We had 2 new names that we needed to add. You'll see all of the new names asterisked. Does anybody have any questions regarding the updated classified report? I don't know if Mr. Lawyer would like to draw any attention to one particular name.
I do, I would, and I would ask for, I would like to make a request. Page, I see some asterisks on page, well, on page 2 of 6. I see some asterisks on 3 of 6 for you to look at. Mm-hmm. Those are the pages that are asterisks. Mr. Petrosi, at that point in the meeting, after you've got this on the table with the first and second, I'd like to make a comment about an employee we're hiring on the classified report who's in the audience before you vote on this, if you wouldn't mind me interrupting at that time. No problem for me. Thank you.
Okay, you also have an addendum to the classified report this evening. You received that earlier in the week. The addendum to the classified report are the reappointments for every employee in the associate unit. As you know, those are year-to-year employees. They need to be reappointed annually, and tonight you're seeing the reappointments that were effective September 1 through June 30, 2024. Does anybody have any questions regarding the names that you've seen on the addendum? All right. And then, again, earlier this week, you received the certificated report. The certificated report that you received also has asterisks on them. We have done some additional hiring and some additional transfers since we last met. Also, we have added some additional Schedule B per diem schedules D, E, F, and G. Are there any questions on the certificated report? All right.
Yes. If you just hold on one second.
Yes, sir.
If there are no other questions, I'm just going to ask Maria to speak on one other topic, but let's do personnel report. Anybody with personnel questions? So then you have your Committee on Special Ed reports. Short-term contracts. We have added one. Ray, if you could go to number 8. Number 8, so for those in the audience or those listening at home, last week the board went through all of these. We explained them all last week. But number 8 is new. It wasn't on last week's report. I asked you via email, but I just wanted Maria to explain. This is to add it's a contractual per diem, temporary, short-term, hopefully, nurse. And Maria has been working really triple duty with the nurses as well. Could you explain why we needed to add this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Laurie. So we're in a very unusual position at this time in the district. We have both of our nurse practitioners who are on leave currently. We also have to continue to do business. So we have pre-employments that we have to complete. Part of the pre-employment process is that physicals are reviewed, we do a hair sample drug screen, and we need to schedule employees for PPD TB testing. This nurse practitioner that you see here is going to do that. In addition, as you know, we have a very robust Medicaid program in our district. We have to have scripts, prescriptions written for OT, PT, and speech that is, that's provided. OT and PT are provided by therapists from Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center, and the speech is provided by our speech teachers and pathologists in the district. Prior to any services being provided, we have to have prescriptions, and this nurse practitioner is going to be able to write prescriptions for us for those services. So we'll be able to continue. Continuity is very important, and then when the nurse practitioners return, we will terminate the contract with this individual.
So that is an add-on from last week that we didn't discuss, but I thought because of the immediacy of the need that we did this month and not wait till December. Okay? I appreciate you allowing that to come on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
Lori,
Yes.
I have a question real quick. Did any student not, because the time frame ran really late the other night, right?
Yes.
Was there any student that was there for a physical not get checked out?
Every student that attended and I think Mrs. Dunn was my witness, every student that attended last Thursday received a physical right till 10 o'clock. There have been some students, however, since winter sports have begun, that have come forth and say, well, I want to play. We're hoping to schedule a day on Monday to address those students. Many of them are middle school students who are playing modified sports, so it's not as crucial that they got started on Monday. So there are a few middle school kids. I've asked the nurses to send that list to Mr. Contento. When I looked at the list yesterday, there was one name of one student at LaSalle Prep who will have a physical on Monday. So the number, I see it as one student. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add they're very, very thorough, because my grandson takes Benadryl and the milligram was 12.5. The nurse called me up and said, I can't pass him until you give me 25 milligrams. So they were very, very thorough.
Thank you. They are very thorough. I mean, this is, we want the health and well-being of the kids first before we'll pass them. So sometimes parents get upset with that, and sometimes we have to have revisits or re-physicals. So there may be a couple of those that I'm not aware of, but I want to give a couple of people credit. First of all, Tony Cerace was there, top notch. Joe Contento, our athletic director, and his new secretary, is it Robin Kaiser? Robin Kaiser, our secretary, stayed all night and has been working to contact those families. So I believe the answer is 1, but it may be closer to 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
Question, pertaining to the physicals. Over the years, we've had some slow responses and some, where kids aren't qualified for 2 weeks. I mean, you miss 2 weeks of practice, because Mr. Walton knows, that kid's useless to you. You can't use him on the team. He can't develop, he can't train, you know what I mean? So is there a way that we can somehow blend physicals in during the year as a, almost like a rite of passage, you know what I'm saying? Where we can take these, earmark these children and get them already done in January or not January, but say April for fall sports, or vice versa for winter sports?
Yeah, the answer is yes. And I think the solution is to do it over the summer and have kids anticipate more that they need to have a physical. I think it's best to do it when we're a little calmer, not too calm, but we're calmer in August and July. We try very hard, even in June, to do that. So I think the timing to answer your question, would be to offer more physicals at various times throughout the day and evening in June, July, and August. But it's still the responsibility of the student and the parent to take ownership to get there to get a physical, so that they have to anticipate, even if they choose not to play, there's no harm in doing that.
Right.
So I would implore parents to know that we will add June, July, and August physicals, but right after August 22nd, when fall sports, then the situation you described kicks in. So we will offer more in June, July, and early August.
I know at times we've had problems, with some of our staff not being available for those, and whatever gets them in, if we have to bring somebody, whatever gets them safe for our district and for themselves, I'm all for it.
Okay. I'll be happy to add time on during those months, because it is frustrating for a kid, it's frustrating for a coach, it's frustrating for a team, but we can't sacrifice having a good physical, as Ms. Dunn described. We've got to have it. Okay? Ray, you want to pop up the agenda? Okay, so you have 10 resolutions we're asking you to support tonight. I'm not going to go through these all because we've done it before, but resolution 601 through 606, I'm asking you to consider accepting these 6 grants. If you do, the district can accept $3,076,070, $3 million in grants that we've written for. So we'd ask for your support in accepting those 6 grants. That will bring another $3 million into the district for various purposes. 607 through 610. These are payments following our project labor agreement to our local unions for capital project upgrades we're doing. The 4 payments, the money is coming from the American Rescue Funds. They're all American Rescue Funds eligible. And we're asking to pay 4 vendors $968,544.89. Not only has our construction manager agreed that this is all done, but Mr. Smeal has vetted this as well. So I'm recommending that you authorize those payments so that Mr. Richard can make the payments as soon as tomorrow. We move on. There's no policies. There's oral communications. Superintendent. I do have a bit of a superintendent's report tonight, and just parenthetically, we do not need an executive session. But during the superintendent's report, I'm going to ask Ray to display 2 sets of pictures for you that I think are important for the viewing public and for Niagara Falls to see. The first set of pictures, they both involve Niagara Falls High School students. The first set of pictures are 12 to 13 students who are getting course credit from Stanford University in California. It was on the front page of the Gazette yesterday, and these are 12 or 13 kids that are getting artificial intelligence course credit from Stanford University. And I want you to see the pictures of it because I'm really proud of those kids. And then the last set of pictures that we'll breeze through during that report are our construction trades kids. And I want you to see them with their feet in the concrete, because our trades project, we have a trades program in the district. They worked with the Cement Masons Union on Tuesday, and they poured the kids, with the help of the cement masons, poured the concrete. So you've got a dozen kids learning how to be cement finishers in high school. So I just want to make sure that the public knows that we are, I didn't close Trot. I was a spry 22-year-old when that happened. I didn't close Trot, but we are bringing Trot back in a different fashion. And you'll see the work of cement masons, and these are high school students, so I want you to see that. Our meetings in December are on the 7th of December. That's where Rick will take over and talk about the primary enhancement program. If there's any other topics, we'll review it. And then the next meeting is on the 21st. That is the meeting when Say Yes Buffalo will be here. As I've talked about a couple of times with you, we are working very hard, and I believe we're very close to bringing Say Yes to Niagara Falls. And Say Yes is going to, in my opinion, it's going to be a game changer for Niagara Falls High School kids around 4 topics. More apprenticeships, more working with boys of color, Saturday academies, opening our schools up on Saturday, and finally, and I think what's going to be the great allure to our Niagara Falls students is last dollars in for college. So if you attend a Say Yes college, you go for free. Anyone. So I'm really excited about that presentation that's coming up in December, and you'll hear more about that. We're a little bit of ways away from it, but I want you to be updated on what we have to do and how close we can get there.
And how long would it be before it would be implemented?
Just from
Say
the...
we make an agreement and we're on track.
Yeah, just from the hip, I think we're 1.5 years away. I think we're 1.5 years. So what we'll have to do, and you'll hear more that night, Buffalo has a $65 million endowment to do that. They're getting an 8% return on where they're investing their money. And we're doing a financial model right now that says to do this for Niagara Falls, we're going to need to raise about $15 million, put it in that same 8% return, and it will continue in perpetuity. So again, I think that's going to be a game changer for Niagara Falls and for every Niagara Falls high school kid without regard to their own financial situation. I want them to have the opportunity to go to college for free or, get into an apprenticeship or a trades program. So that is it for our meeting at 7 o'clock, unless you have questions. Okay. So everybody's here. That's about all we're going to do tonight. There's nothing else happening. No, I'm kidding. It was a joke. If you don't mind, I would like to begin our presentation, and I'm going to stand up. I am. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the board meeting. Thank you for enduring that exciting presentation you went through. We did have some business to take care of, and I appreciate your patience. We have started what I think is a really nice tradition in Niagara Falls, and a tradition that's in place for a number of reasons. And we probably have 20 to 25 what we call distinguished alumni in our schools. And let me tell you the reason and the thinking behind it. The reason and the thinking behind it is because we want our kids in all of our schools, all 7,000 of our kids, to be able to look at people who graduated from Niagara Falls High School, LaSalle, or Trot, and aspire to be those people. I think our kids need to see people who have been successful, who have done great things, and who have come from Niagara Falls. So, what will happen after this evening is these pictures are done by our friend Dan Capilazzo. Dan put together by Dan and engraved a nice quote from them. These pictures will hang in every one of our schools. And the hope is that when kids are walking around, they stop and they look. Or their teacher takes them and they read and talk about who this person is or who that person is. And say to the kids, you too can be that person. They went to your school. They came from Niagara Falls. And it's the same reason why we sometimes name schools. We want to recognize our distinguished alumni. We've been doing this for about 6 years. We have close to 25 people, Dan, I don't know, about 25 people. We have Academy. I'm very quiet. We have Academy Award-winning costume designers. We have
the founder of Orange Theory Fitness. We have a woman, Jane Bryant Quinn, who was always the last article in Newsweek and Time magazine, on and on and on. And they all went to Niagara Falls schools. So we want our young people to look at them and say, I too can be that, to have that visual representation. So that's the purpose for why one of the purposes for distinguished alumni. The second reason is we have to honor and recognize our roots. These are the people that built our city. These are the people that built our school district. We achieve on their backs today. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. So it's, in my opinion, an extremely prestigious and important forever symbol of who we want our kids to be. And it's also a chance to say to the families, we do not forget your families, relatives, and friends. And we're so proud they have a Niagara Falls High School diploma. So I hope that's clear as to why. I know anybody who's listening can make a recommendation of a person. We have very stringent criteria. We ask you just simply write in and send a letter to our public relations office, and Julie will keep a file. We'll do this hopefully once a year. But this is like the Hall of Fame of Hall of Fames for the Niagara Falls School District. This is the best of the very best. So that's a little bit of a preamble. And I would like to begin. And it's over here. Okay. You can. Thank you. Yeah. So we are going to begin with, let's begin with James Vaccarella. And I know, Gina, you're here on behalf of James's family. Who else is here? Sister and mother. I can talk a lot. Tell him to speed. No, don't tell him to speed. We're going to ask you to come up and accept this on behalf of your family. But let me read a little bit about Mr. Vaccarella. James Vaccarella is a member of the greatest generation. He was born in July of 1924. He played 3 sports during his time at Niagara Falls High School. Though he was unable to go to college or join the workforce after leaving high school, a call from his country prevented that. And less than a year after graduating, Mr. Vaccarella was drafted for military service in World War II. He spent 2 years in the Army, 19 months on the front lines as a combat medic in the 305th Division, and he served under General Patton. During the war, Mr. Vaccarella liberated a concentration camp in Austria. Vaccarella took on the gut-wrenching duty where he saw many atrocities inflicted upon camp soldiers and bravely led those people to freedom. He was a combat medic. He fought in one of the most famous battles in world history, the Battle of the Bulge in 1944. During that battle, Mr. Vaccarella retrieved many soldiers who had significant injuries, and he saved lives. He earned a Purple Heart after being injured in the process of pulling a wounded soldier out of harm's way. For his bravery, that is bravery, for his skill while serving in the armed forces, especially during the Battle of the Bulge in World War II, Niagara Falls High School graduate James Vaccarella is now forever a distinguished alumni of Niagara Falls High School. What a courageous and deserving man that your family member, grandpa, great-grandpa, he was a great person, and we would like his picture to adorn the halls and the walls of our schools, to remind our students that this was a great man who did great things in saving people. So with that, James Vaccarella. Come up. Hey, get your whole family in. Yep. You're gonna take. I'm gonna get out of here. Would you, anybody like to, yeah, that's a gift for you. Would anyone, this is done by the 9 members of the, I only get to read. The 9 members of the board did this. I don't know if you wanted to say something.
We really cannot thank you enough, and it's something that we just had the opportunity to go to Arlington. We had to wait 2 years for that ceremony to be accepted, and they just called us, and we just went there a couple weeks ago, and it was unbelievable. So to have this, to kind of wrap up this awesome life of our grandfathers is really special and really something. So I thank you so very much for this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciative that you would accept this on behalf of the board. I know it means a lot that you're all here, so thank you. We have another distinguished alumni to add to our class of 2023. And I know many of Gerald DeMunda's family are here, and we'll meet you in just a couple of moments. But please allow me to read and talk about Mr. DeMunda. Gerald DeMunda demonstrated his leadership skills as the captain and quarterback of the Gaskill Junior High School football team. His football prowess and leadership ability carried over to his days at Niagara Falls High School, where he was captain and quarterback of the football team all 4 years he attended school. He started as a freshman and continued as a football leader at quarterback until he was a senior. Pretty good. But then Mr. DeMunda sacrificed for his country less than 2 years after graduating from Niagara Falls High School. He joined the Marine Corps. In 1966, only weeks after graduating in June of 1966, Lance Corporal Gerald DeMunda was deployed to Vietnam at the height of the Vietnam War conflict. According to his friends and his family at the time, duty and service to his country was the most essential thing to him. So in January of 1967, he traveled 10,000 miles to Southeast Asia to fight for freedom for people outside of his country. Mr. DeMunda was a machine gunner. Corporal DeMunda was injured in 1967 and was sent to Japan for a knee anterior cruciate ligament reconstruction. I think we call that ACL now. He stayed in Japan until September of 1967. When he returned, he went back to Vietnam. 2 months later, on November 26, 1967, Mr. DeMunda was tragically killed in action by a gunshot to his chest. The Niagara Falls High School hero was only 20 years old. His deployment to Vietnam was to end December of 1967, just 1 month before his death. Posthumously, Corporal DeMunda was awarded the Purple Heart, several military medals for bravery and successful combat missions. The district is humbled, honored, and proud to name Lance Corporal Gerald DeMunda a Niagara Falls High School Distinguished Alumni. Congratulations. I think it's so fitting as we're coming off Veterans Day and doing it this week and having two of our heroes that we're honoring and recognizing tonight. So I would ask that anybody and everybody from the DeMunda family, come on up. You're all welcome. Come on up. We'd love to have you all here. Yeah. Mark, you're going to take it. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Want to take this? One of you guys hold it in the center? Sure. Someone wanted to say something? Sure, we'll wait till I get this.
We would like to thank the board very much, and thanks to Mike and Dan for your help and encouragement throughout all this. And you know, as I was listening to what our superintendent was talking about here, you think about, you know, put yourself in someone else's shoes, always, right? And think about the other person. If you put yourself in his shoes, you're 20 years old. But up to that time, you were playing football at Gaskill in Niagara Falls High School. And as a coach and a quarterback, a lot of responsibility, a lot of dedication, commitment, and genuine love for what you were doing for at the school with your classmates, with the team and your family. So now you're injured, you're going back to Vietnam. The height of the battle has really increased. And so you're going to write a letter home, 20 years old, to your mom, dad, and your sister. Imagine what he learned in the school and all the skills and the courage he developed to be able to carry that into the battlefield. And that's really a remarkable situation, and we're very lucky to be recognized and have him recognized in the school district, and it's in the city of Niagara Falls as well. So thanks very much again to the board and the family for all coming out, and for Mike and Dan as well. So thanks again. I really appreciate this. It's very nice.
Congratulations. That's for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations. So the hope is that we will have these framed and displayed in all the schools as soon as possible. They'll be up and out, around in various places. And my expectations for the teaching staff and the whole school staff would be for them to make a visit, to see these photos, and to get an understanding of the sacrifice these two gentlemen made for our country, to allow us to be standing here today, and to allow us to have the freedom that we did. And I want the kids to remember, the current staff, the current students to remember, they went to Niagara Falls High School. They graduated from the Niagara Falls School District. And you too could do what these two heroes did. So thank you for allowing us to use their likeness image, story to hopefully inspire another student. I will tell you that of our graduates, about 8% of them choose a career in the military. How do we know that? Because every year at graduation, we ask all of those that are entering the military to stand, to be recognized, and quite consistently, in a class of 450, we always have 40 students who are interested. On top of that, we are working very, very hard and hopefully ready to bring back a junior ROTC program to Niagara Falls High School. So it's been on the docket for a while, and we're hoping to do that. I'm going to ask, because I know the next presentation of Ms. Vaughn, I know we're just waiting for a few people, and I don't want her friends and family to miss that presentation. So I'm going to ask if we could just take a pause, maybe a break, Mr. Petrosi, until Ms. Vaughn's family and friends arrive, and then we'll have our meeting. But I don't want to carry on without her family and friends coming. I think it's important that they all hear and regale in a wonderful woman named Viola Vaughn, a 1965 graduate who was a classmate of Mr. Velardo's, I understand. And she was named, just so you know, in 2008, CNN, she was named a CNN hero for starting a girls' school in, I believe it was in Africa. She traveled to Africa and started a girls' school called 10,000 Women. So I want her to get her proper due, and I see them just starting to come in. So if you wouldn't mind if we just took a little stretch break? We'll take a 5-minute break. Thank you.
And a prayer by Mrs. Dunn.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day to live for you. We don't take your mercy, grace, and blessings for granted. Please continue to watch over us, protect us, and keep us in your love forever. In Jesus' name, amen.
Ray, is Earl on? Mr. Bass?
He's on.
Mr. Bass is present. Mr. Bilson is excused. Mr. Kinsemi?
Here.
Mr. Capizzi?
Here.
Mrs. Dunn? Mr. Cadella?
Here.
Mr. Pareto?
Here.
Mr. Velardo?
Here.
Mr. Petrosi?
Here.
8 present.
Thank you very much. Mark, we have one presentation left. Would you
Yeah.
like to do it now before we start the meeting?
Whatever your pleasure is, we could do it now or at the conclusion. It's a very brief meeting.
Can I just ask, is everyone here from your group for the presentation? Everybody's here? Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Again? Sorry. Hi, Barb. You can sit anywhere you'd like. Anywhere you'd like. You're perfectly fine. Hello. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Just to kind of reiterate what we went through a little bit earlier, we made 2 other presentations this evening for distinguished alumni, and tonight we have a 3rd very powerful and important woman that we are going to immortalize in the halls of Niagara Falls schools today. So just to give friends a little bit of a context of what we're doing, about 8 years ago, we started a program called Distinguished Alumni. And the Distinguished Alumni were an opportunity for us to recognize people that graduated from the Niagara Falls School District that have done phenomenal things. And it was a chance to reach back to those wonderful people. But most importantly, it was a chance to display in the halls of all of our schools individuals that we want our students to aspire to be like. So that when our kids, whether they're in elementary school, middle school, or high school, can walk by these beautiful photographs and say, wow, he or she went to Niagara Falls High School, LaSalle, Trott. And the message that we want to give to the students is, you too can be that person. You too could do that. And we want them to be inspiration for our students, and hopefully someday they'll adorn the walls of our Niagara Falls schools. So this evening we presented 2 true veteran heroes, Gerald Demunda and James Vaccarella, and now we're going to present our 3rd distinguished alumni, who is from the Niagara Falls High School class of 1965. Before I speak about her, it's my understanding that Mr. Velardo was also in the class of 65, but he spent most of his time in the principal's office. For various reasons, He was in the principal's office and oftentimes, and I'm not sure if he'll get his picture up here yet, but it's in the boardroom, Nick. He did. So let me tell you a little bit about this young lady that we're recognizing. And for those that are viewing at home or here, we are continuously taking recommendations and nominations. We have, after tonight, about 28 individuals adorning our halls. We've got Academy Award winners. We have a young man who's an ophthalmologist who came from Niagara Falls. We have somebody who's been on The Greatest Catch, some show I've never watched, but I think they catch sharks. We've got people from all walks of life. And tonight, we're going to honor Miss Viola M. Vaughn from the Niagara Falls High School class of 1965. She dedicated her life to learning. Years after graduating from Niagara Falls High School, Vaughn furthered her education in the Ivy League by earning a Doctor of Education from Columbia University's prestigious Teachers College. Ms. Vaughn is no stranger to Distinguished Alumni Award. She is Columbia Teacher College, also awarded her a Distinguished Alumni. She spent several years traveling back and forth to Africa with her husband and 5 grandchildren before permanently settling in Africa. When she learned that the school pass rate was low for girls and young women in the part of the rural Senegal where she lived, she felt compelled to act. The low pass rate of girls was traced back to girls and young women being kept home to work and learned how to just be good wives and mothers. Once they began missing classes by being held back at home, the girls started failing exams. Many failed out and dropped out of school. Seeing this breach in the education of young women, Viola Vaughn worked tirelessly to create the Women's Health Education and Prevention Strategies Alliance and added the phrase 10,000 girls to represent the goal of young women in the program and set a number of the peers that they wanted to reach. She wanted to reach 10,000 women and educate them. 10,000 Girls combines education and employment for girls. The education program gives girls a place and a time to study, provides books and school supplies. All of the tutors in this program are teachers who volunteer their time. 10,000 Girls has a pass rate of 92%. The employment and training arm of 10,000 Girls is for girls who have failed at school or never attended. They each learn a trade of sewing or baking. They run a pastry shop and a sewing shop. Their products are exported and sold. Their earnings are split between the girls and the education program. Today, besides the pastry shop and catering business, 10,000 Girls runs a sewing shop, and the girls export handmade dolls and household linens overseas. In 2008, Viola Vaughn was recognized by CNN as one of their heroes. We are so honored and pleased that Viola Vaughn was a Niagara Falls High School graduate class of 1965. And we hope that by placing this photo of Miss Vaughn with an explanation of what she did will inspire other students, not only at Niagara Falls High School, but the elementary schools and the middle schools and everywhere throughout the district, to be a little bit more like her and to know that if you go to Niagara Falls High School, you too could be the next Viola Vaughn. And it is just our honor this evening to recognize the 28th Distinguished Alumni from Niagara Falls High School and the Niagara Falls High School class of 1965, Miss Viola Vaughn. Come on up, ladies. You want to come up here and accept this?
Yeah, Nick, look at him.
We're going to get you to take a nice picture with it.
This is her real good friend.
Well, I am also a game show host, so I want to see who we have here. Who are you, ma'am?
Helen Drain.
Helen Drain,
Maud Smith.
Maud Smith,
Margie Anuncia Damchick.
Margie Anutsi Jabsik, and ma'am, I don't know you.
I don't know you either. I've seen your picture at the post office.
So would you guys,
65 too, Carol.
who?
Carol Gelati.
Oh yeah, she just left. Would you take, we have a professional photographer here. Nick, you looking at it? Nick. So just so you know what was said, we are going to mail this actual photo to Viola, and she's in Africa. We're going to mail it to her in Africa, and we'll send pictures of you with it so that she can have it. No, that'll cost you money, ma'am. No, of course we'll give you pictures.
I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. Mark will take it on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I spoke with him.
Okay.
Viola and the other woman that was the class of 65. I'm going to give
Yeah,
you
okay.
posters. He's already taken care of me, so you'll have those for your reunion to put up on these.
Did any of you, would any of you like to say anything? I just want you to know that the gentleman and the young lady behind you, these are the people that made this decision, the Niagara Falls Board of Education. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. And we'll make sure she has it. Did anybody want to say anything about Viola?
What?
Would anybody like to say anything about Viola?
Oh, just, well, we're thrilled about her, but I feel bad because I didn't get to, I know you, and because I was living under a desk, so, in high school. Yeah, we were over 600. And I think we were the class that moved in the middle of the year because they built the addition. So, we're pretty special.
She was a great girl.
You want to say?
No, I just wanted to say she was really a great girl. She was an only child, and we grew up together. I just love her. You know, she was a smart girl, very smart.
One thing that I thought was interesting that I read about her, I don't ever remember her or knew her, but she had this wonderful career here in Detroit and in New York, and you know, a major master of public health thing. And then all of a sudden she moved with her husband and her daughter died. So they had 5 children that they, and she said the best thing I ever did was my second career.
Right.
I taught kids to teach other people. It was, that's, to me that means everything. She was not young when she did this.
That's great.
Well, I want you to know that your classmate will hang in the halls of all of our schools and it be an inspiration to the students that come after her. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, folks. Congrats. Thank you. Okay, moving on. I have a couple of speakers for non-agenda items. We'll do that at the end of the meeting. We'll start with recommended actions for superintendent of schools. I have 401 and 402 minutes for October. Budget transfer number 4. Can I have a motion, please? Thank you, Paul. Second, Jim. Questions? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. I have Treasurer's report for October 23, received and filed, along with the budget status report. I have a personnel report certificated. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Mr. Pareto, second by Mr. Capizzi. Questions? Question, Mark?
Yeah, I wanted to, is this the, I'm sorry.
Certificated.
I'm sorry, I want the classified.
You want it classified?
I apologize. I'll take the classified. I
I'll
apologize.
forgive you for interrupting.
Thank you.
Motion second. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bass? Yes. Thank you, sir. Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn? Mr. Cadella?
Yes.
Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Mr. Petrosi?
Yes.
Report approved.
Mr. Bass, I will assume all of your votes are yeses because of the delay. If there's any noes, please let it be known at the end of the meeting, and we'll make the correction. Okay.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Thanks, Earl. We have a personnel report classified. We have an addendum that we'd like to bring in. Motion for the addendum by Mr. Consemi, second by Mr. Capizzi. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Addendum added.
Thank you. Now, motion for the personnel report classified with the addendum included. Mr. Velardo, second. Mr. Cadella. Questions? Mr. Laurie.
Thank you very much. Prior to you voting on this classified report, I just wanted to congratulate in anticipation all of those that you're going to appoint. But we do have one of our newest employees in the audience, and I just wanted to recognize her because she is a Niagara Falls High School graduate. And she was here just a short period ago when we honored in June the students who received the Seal of Biliteracy, if you remember. I also remember, because I enjoyed the show very much, Grease. She starred in the show Grease. And I just wanted to take a moment and ask for your support of this resolution as we hopefully appoint, in your vote next, our newest assistant working in a Spanish classroom at Niagara Falls High School, Miss Raven Thuman, who will be working with our students. And I think Raven is just a great example, just like Miss Viola Vaughn, of being able to overcome challenges, being able to be a role model, and the type of graduate that we really celebrate and honor. And we're so proud that you're going to come back and work for us now. So I really want to say congratulations to all, but especially tonight, Raven Thuman, who we're going to put to work starting November 27th. So if they approve you, Raven, get ready to go to work.
Thank you, Mark. Anybody else? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn? Mr. Cadella?
Yes.
Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Mr. Petrosi?
Yes.
Congratulations.
All right, don't be late. Get to work and don't be late. Be on time.
Good luck. Best of luck. 408 and 409 together, please. The reports from the Committee on Special Ed and Preschool Special Ed.
Move it.
Thank you, Mr. Consemi. Thank you, Mr. Pareto. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to take some short-term contracts. 4.1 is from C through Math Elementary. Number 2, Buffalo Museum of Science. Number 3, Aquarium of Niagara. 4, Shannon McCroy Churchill. 5, Open Buffalo Black Excellence Youth Engagement. 6, African American Co-op. 7, Niagara Strikes Bowling. 7, Niagara Strikes Bowling. 8, Jenna Hayden Carroll Pre-Employment and Medicaid Prescriptions.
I just have one question. All right, go on.
Let me get the motion first.
All right.
Thank you. Motion second by Nick. Motion by Paul. Question. Go ahead, Nick.
Mark, where's the bowling going to be taking place?
The bowling is at, it's at the Rapids.
Okay. No, I just want.
That's the one out here in LaSalle.
Yeah.
So this is just, if you don't mind, thank you for the question. This is 3 more elementary schools bowling. We've done 2 schools. We've got 4 more to go. This is to do 3 more schools of elementary after-school bowling. We think it's a good program. And of course, because bowling is my favorite sport, we're trying to develop better bowlers. So the oil pattern is heavily slicked and favoring the third board.
Not the third board from the left.
I don't know. I don't know anything about bowling. When I bowl, they have bumpers in the gutters. That's all I can tell you.
Mark, I hope you go down there one day and don't get embarrassed when these kids beat you, that's all.
Pardon me?
I'd like to get down there together with you and watch them bowl one day.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe have a competition, but I don't want you to feel bad when these kids beat you.
The kids will, I won't stand a chance. I have to tell you something funny, and I know we're in the formal part of a meeting, but this is I think a cute story, and I'm really proud of our elementary schools. Abbott, the teachers and staff from Abbott bowled last night against G.J. Mann, so that they formed their own little, bowling leagues among the teachers, and they really get into it. And I guess G.J. Mann really handed it to him last year, and Abbott won last night. And I got a million texts saying, make sure you get on the auto dialer and say Abbott won. But it's getting pretty competitive out there with this bowling. So, Nick, you're having quite a night, Nick.
Sometimes everything goes right,
Yeah, you're having quite a night.
Thank you. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kinsemi.
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn. Mr. Cadella.
Yes.
Mr. Pareto. Mr. Velardo. Mr. Petrosi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 4.11 Head Start reports. Motion. Thank you, Mr. Cadella. Thank you, Mr. Capizzi. Questions? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Under new business, we'll take 601 to 606 together. Their acceptance of funds. 601 is federal IDEA. 602 is Pathways and Technology. 603 is Smart Schools Early College High School. 604 is from the City of Niagara Falls for our schools channel. 6.05 is McKinley-Vento Grant. 6.06 is My Brother's Keeper. Mark, you had a total of how much that was worth.
That is a total. I'm sorry. If you accept these grants right now, you will be accepting a total amount of money of $3,076,070. This is on top of the general fund budget. This is just in another $3 million in grant money that we're receiving to do a lot of the programs and staffing that we're doing for kids.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Motion, please. Mr. Consemi, second, Mr. Velardo. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kinsemi.
I think we should hold off for another $5, Mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn. Mr. Cadella.
Yes.
Mr. Pareto.
Yes.
Mr. Velardo. Mr. Petrosi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 607 to 610. These are some payments for our capital projects. 607 DV Brown, 608 CIR Electric, 609 Johnson Controls, and 6.10 is John W. Danforth.
Move it.
Mr. Consemi, second, Mr. Pareto. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Kinsemi.
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn. Mr. Cadella.
Yes.
Mr. Pareto.
Yes.
Mr. Velardo.
Yes.
Mr. Petrosi.
Yes. Thank you very much. Moving on to information and reports, oral communications. I have two speakers signed up. Lawrence Blabber, Jr., please, civic engagement. And on deck is Justin Gilmore. 3 minutes. Name and address, please. I'll give you a 30-second notice. Good evening, sir.
Yesterday, I was at the PEG meeting, and we were just having the discussion between the parents about dealing with pickup and drop off regarding the parking area. And it occurred to me that this is something that, of course, the parents and the school can talk about it, but what if we got the high school students involved? And it just is something that I want to think of like long-term. Like, that requires a lot of logistics and planning and stuff like that. And yes, the school can go out and hire consultants and stuff, but maybe going forward, thinking of projects for junior year for some of I guess, the STEM program people, you know, things where within the school district or within the school, working with the mayor's office, is like, hey, you want to know what it's like to be an adult and deal with some things? Well, in here, you have to interview the stakeholders, the parents, the teachers, the schools, the buses, and help us come up with a solution for this. Maybe it'll work, maybe it'll not, but it'll give these kids some sort of real life experience and a chance to actually understand how the city they live in works. And if it goes well, then maybe we can expand it to something not as serious that we can include for the whole senior classes. Just an idea. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Mr. Petrosi, if you don't mind,
No, go ahead,
when I
Mike.
do my, Mr. Blaber, when I do my summary statements, I will address that.
Sure. Justin Gilmore, please.
Thank you.
My name is Justin Gilmore. Thank you guys for having me. Is it okay if I get started?
Sure.
All right, cool. I'm from this city, from these 16 miles. I'm a graduate of the University of Louisville. While there, I maintained a 3.2 grade point average and graduated with a sport administration degree. Upon graduation, I also competed in football.
Can you talk more to the mic?
Sorry, yeah. I also competed in football, so that would make me one of 5 Division I football athletes from the city, at least within the last 25 years. Upon graduating, we had a lot of success. My team got up to the number 5 team in the country, so we had a lot of professional football players. We had a lot of professional basketball players. We had 2 Olympic gold medalists. It was kind of like the golden era of the university, which allowed me to put my degree to use right away. So I got into marketing, branding, management with professional athletes being featured on Hollywood Access, the NFL Network, et cetera. So I'm back in the area because before I came back to the area, I also did some things that Mr. Lurie has supported in the past, where I had 2 camps where I brought 6 NFL players and 2 WNBA players for the girls as well. We did a football camp, we did a basketball camp. We raised money for a special needs community. All the proceeds went to that, as well as a scholarship for a student that is back in the area contributing, named Lomax Barnes. You know, with me being back in the area due to my father's health, I'm like working on developing this program is what I just put in place. So after marketing and managing and those things, it led me into content creation. So content led me into film. So I developed a film production company. I have a show that is streaming on Amazon Prime right now. It's 11 episodes. If you guys like football, you'll love it. Like I said, it's 11 episodes. It's pretty awesome. So after that, I wanted to do something mental health specific. One of the athletes that I work with, who's a brother to me, his name is Marcus Smith. So he kind of was the driving force behind this, right? He's a first-round draft pick. And he just had signed a new deal with the Seattle Seahawks, and he was going to drive himself off a cliff with a baby on the way. His wife called him, kind of talked him down, and so we kind of hit the ground running with getting into the mental health space and things of that nature. So this is the program that I've created. The Gray Area Company, as you all can see, you know, our mission statement on the front, using my marketing and management background, something that Jonah Berger, a distinguished author and teacher, professor at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, he created something called STEPS. S is for social currency, T is for triggers, E is for emotion, P is for public, the second P is for practical value, and the last is for stories. So if you see on the second page, the company is based around that. Not in a marketing way though, but in a social emotional wellness way, right? So we teach people these things through film and television, events, seminars. So with film, you have scoring, you know, which is the music behind it. Well, why are we using this song? Okay, you want to convey this message to people. You want them to feel this way. Well, how do you feel? You know, every project we start, if you'll go to the third page, is with an emotional wheel, right? So where are we right now? What do we have going on? How do you feel about this? Are you being self-aware? Are you self-managing yourself? How are your relationship skills amongst your teammates? Who's doing what? Is someone doing audio? Is someone doing the score? Is someone holding the boom mic? What does that look like? Sorry, trying to be respectful of everybody's time.
Would you sum it up?
Yeah, so basically, this is a list of everything that we can do. My resources are here. I think these are the problems and solution. I spoke with Mr. Laurie and Ms. Villardo, and they've been supportive of sharing some of the same ideas of, kids not being able to experience things outside of these 16 miles, so to speak. So I want to introduce them to that. I want to teach them about jobs. I want to teach them about, somebody may not be able to play in the NFL, but they may love the Super Bowl. There's somebody that does the music for the Super Bowl. There's somebody that does that, there's jobs, and I have resources to do that. So if you'll see on page 7, those are some of my resources. I have, if you allow me to play it, I have a minute-long video, which I prepared that some of these resources speak directly to the school board, saying how they would love to be a part of this program and would love to work with you all if you would be interested in hearing it. Is it okay?
Colleagues? Okay.
I appreciate it. I know I'm way over time. All right, let me turn this up. Sorry about that.
Hi, Niagara Falls City School Board. I'm Marcus Smith II, former 6-year NFL veteran. I am a global ambassador for All Points North Lodge Treatment Facility. I'm a TV correspondent, life coach, mental health advocate, and I'm also the founder of the Circle of M, where we unmask the feelings that cause anxiety and depression with the youth and professional arena. But I spoke with Justin about the development of his program, and I look forward to partnering with you all. So let's continue to help our youth, because our youth is our future.
Hello, Niagara Falls City School Board. My name is Heather Luce, and I'm the NCAA licensing manager for Adidas. I manage our partner license agreements with our partner schools, and I also manage our NCAA championship event licenses. I've spoken with Justin about the development of his program, and I'm so excited to be a part of this initiative. Have a great day.
What's going on, Niagara Falls School Board? I'm former NFL player and current video production owner of Mount Up Media. My name is Dion Mount. I've worked for big corporations like American Cancer Society, shot for celebrities like Serena and Venus Williams, Michael Vicks, just to name a few. And I look forward to hearing more about this awesome partnering opportunity with Justin and his program with you guys. So I look forward to working with you all and can't wait to actually meet you. Have a good day, and mount up.
Yeah, so sorry to be long-winded and take your time. I think it's important. And yeah, so I'm here. Mr. Laurie had mentioned, distinguished people graduated. I'm not a graduate from the school because the district lines are weird, so I may have to take that up with you all. I lived on Porter Road, but I did go as a freshman. We just moved apartment complexes, but who I am as a man, as a person, the texture I have is through and through of the city, so I think it's important to give back to our kids, give them resources. It's one thing I can say, like, hey, do better, but if they can touch it, if they can touch someone famous, if they could touch somebody doing something, if they're really interested in something, then they'll feel like they can do it, and maybe that'll be the driving force to allow them to do better. So me being here, I'm in this city, like I said, I'm subbing at the school. I'll be there tomorrow, and I fly out to be a guest at the University of Miami for Saturday. And yeah, so I'll be here next week, so I hope that, you all like this presentation. Hope you like some of these ideas, and hopefully we can talk about this soon. I appreciate your time.
I would suggest maybe you get a hold of Mr. Laurie and
Yeah.
sit down and really.
So I did. I sent 3 follow-up emails, but of course at the beginning of this meeting, he's worried about cyber security and protecting the students. So
we're
I
worried
understand.
about it all.
Exactly.
I'll respond.
But I understand. I understand. So yeah. So thank you, Mr. Josie. Thank you all. I appreciate you. And that's that. Do you all want to keep those? Do you want to give them back? Do you want to? All right. Thank you.
Do you mind if we keep them?
Can I keep mine?
Do you mind if we keep them? Thank you. Okay. I don't know about that. If you're late, it's too late. Come on up.
Come on down, just like Johnny Olson, right? Come on down.
You'll have detention after the meeting.
God bless. It's good to see you. And to everyone here, God bless you. We all realize it is beneficial for a child to start their educational...
Gloria, sorry. Name and address for the record.
Oh, okay. Gloria Dolson. Praise the Lord.
We all know you, but it's for the record.
1352 Cleveland Avenue.
Thank you, ma'am.
Praise the Lord. We all realize it is beneficial for a child to start their educational journey early in life. Pre-K provides social, emotional, physical skills, and it boosts self-confidence. It also prepares them for school readiness attendance. Men Standing Strong Together has shared some concerns with our dear Superintendent, Mr. Lowry, as to class sizes for pre-K, kindergarten, and first graders. We strongly feel if given smaller class size along with support staff in these grade levels, teachers would be able to reach every child, especially those children who may be lacking social skills or basics to successfully keep up with their classmates. We notice some parents don't understand the importance of early childhood education and therefore may not send their child to school often as necessary, which causes the child to be behind from the onset. Smaller class size will benefit all children. When in pre-K, a child can get more one-on-one educational learning. Then that child enters kindergarten and small classroom size along with support staff. Their educational skills are strengthened. Then the child is promoted to first grade and the cycle repeats itself. These same students would not fall behind and would have a strong foundation for good reading skills. Men Standing Strong Together have asked time and time, how does a child get placed in special education? Well, we feel this would be a stepping stone to solving some of the problems. Teachers need to be given the tools to be a successful educator, and smaller classroom sizes will help take the stress off of how can I do a better job. If we don't have the money for support staff, maybe parents would be a good stakeholders. Board members, I would love to have the opportunity to speak further with you concerning this very topic. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Gloria. Mark and maybe Maria, our class sizes in those grades are very good, aren't they?
Yeah, they vary from 17 to 24.
So not bad.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Information and reports. I think you're up, Mr. Laurie.
I am. Thank you very much. I wanted to, and I will address our speakers as I think it's appropriate to do, but I wanted to begin just with a few photographs, and we have high school administrators here, but and I'm just going to go through these quickly. As you know, we have a articulation agreement with Stanford University in Palo Alto, California, and what that means is our students are able to get college credits from Stanford if they take this test and if they take this class, and the class is on artificial intelligence. So I just thought, and you saw the headlines of the Gazette, I just was really, really proud of our Niagara Falls High School students and wanted to show you a couple of the photographs. I think that's one of the deans of students from, the young lady's a dean from Stanford who flew in to meet with our kids and was very impressed. So I just wanted you to show you that. And I just wanted to highlight the first cohort of students that are going through this class. The goal is to expand this next year so that more and more students can get college credits. Just important to note that the high school has 44, I think it's 44, and this is the 45th class where you can get college credits at Niagara Falls High School. And it's sometimes the untold story of the school. But Stanford, and if you read the article yesterday, doesn't have this relationship with many school districts, but I'm proud to tell you that it has this relationship with Niagara Falls High School, and it's only going to get bigger. Next, I love this. I love this because these are our students, and they are doing assigned work. We are taking classwork and actually doing important life skills and job readiness work. They're working with the cement masons to pour cement pads and learn how to pour cement pads. And I show you this for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is I want to thank the cement masons for being one of our partners. Number two, if you could hold that photo, I want to show that our kids are doing hands-on life skills work. I want you, number three, to remember this photo when I talk about graduation requirements in a few moments. We also stuck one of our top-notch maintenance guys in there. You can see Bobby Nasca right here with the black hat on, bending over, helping our kids. So it's not just, it's some of our own staff. But we have kids actually doing this. And they're building a serenity garden, and they're going to use all of the trades from cement masons, there's our class, from cement masons to electricians, et cetera, to build something beautiful at the high school. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the program. I think it was great up until the time when Mr. Pareto showed up and carved his initials in the corner of the cement and put his foot in there. It was beautifully done. But then Mr. Pareto... No, but look, there are not a lot of high schools that are doing that. Not a lot of high schools that are doing that. So I just thought the public, those in the audience, and the board should see we're doing what a lot of people think we should be doing, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But I'm really proud of that work and how it's coming into fruition. So thanks, Ray, for showing that. Yeah, that's great. Next, I want to switch to the topic of sports. We have one of our fall athletes who is at the state championships right now. Her name is Tori Ann Frank. She's a Niagara Falls High School 10th grader. She is competing to be the New York State diving champ. So it's today and tomorrow, and I wish Tori Ann the best. I want to also tell you that beginning Monday, we started a girls wrestling team, and we are partnering with Niagara Wheatfield because they have a number of girls. I think they have 12 and we have 8. So we have a girls wrestling program that's training at Niagara Wheatfield, but we are trying to respond to all the needs of our students. And we are also in the spring going to start a junior varsity boys lacrosse program. And, you know, Justin talked a little bit about mental health and sports. And one of the things that's important is that mental health isn't just counseling and sitting together. It's getting involved in things. And whether it's mixing concrete or wrestling as a young lady or playing boys lacrosse, the more we can do with our kids, the better they will be mental health-wise. I wanted to tell you that I had a great opportunity on Tuesday to spend the day at Gaskill in Miss Brandy Brown's class. Miss Brown's students wrote petitions to me about a couple of conditions that they don't agree with and would like to see change in, and I promised them that we would attend to that. I agreed with 2 of their positions. I didn't agree with the 3rd position. They had some questions about the dress code, and I promised that we would put some of those students who are very articulate and vocal on our Code of Conduct Committee when the time comes. And they also have some suggestions for improving the food offerings in the cafeteria. I did not agree with them on the cell phone policy, which I told them we will not change. So they were kind of happy with me, not totally happy with me, but I really enjoyed speaking to her class. I want to thank our school resource officers. We have a elementary school resource officer named Sierra Lee. She is going to work with all of our sixth graders now on a DARE type program, but Officer Lee took it upon herself to come forward and say, I want to do something with all of our elementary sixth graders. So I want to thank Officer Lee for doing that.
She's pretty new.
She's rather new in the force, yes. So, but I'm really glad that she came forward, had an idea, only needed $900 to run this program, and we'll meet with all of our sixth graders. So that's the kind of support we're getting from the police department. Tomorrow, our friend Nazarene at NAS 716 is going to have a turkey giveaway at Bond Primary, 345. Lots of turkeys giving away. I wanted to also congratulate a friend of the district. I'm not sure if he watches these board meetings. He probably does. But I wanted to just take a moment to congratulate, and I wrote a letter to Congressman Brian Higgins on behalf of the district. I want to acknowledge Congressman Higgins. He's moving on very soon, but for it not the work of Congressman Higgins, we wouldn't have Head Start, and we wouldn't have some of these large mental health grants that we were able to give. So Congressman Higgins has been a good friend to the Niagara Falls School District. I want to address the graduation requirements that were released this week by the New York State Blue Ribbon Commission panel of 64. I want you to know that one of the 64 members of that panel is an employee of our district, Cynthia Jones, served as one of the 64 member Blue Ribbon Commission members. And I have to tell you, in reading this, I'm very impressed. I'm impressed with what the requirements said, and why I'm impressed is because it really starts to put meaning and relevancy toward the assessments kids are going to need to graduate. For instance, those kids pouring that concrete, they can demonstrate their skills in electricity, concrete pouring, something else, and I think that's just as important as some Regents exams. So I like the flexibility that this is going to give us. I also like the fact that it recognizes that every kid doesn't need 4 years to get their diploma. Some can do it in 3, some can do it in 6. I think it's practical. I think it's lining up with the things that we're doing in our district. And to Mr. Blaber's point, one of the hallmarks of this new graduation requirement is a focus on civic education. So when you were up here speaking and you were talking about getting kids involved in government and civics, I think there are ways to incorporate what you're talking about and start to meet graduation requirements. In a small way, you gave an example of something that could be done. So I think that kind of thinking from the community and those kind of assessments are going to really be what our kids will need and be performance-based and benefit. So I want to congratulate the committee. Thanks, Cynthia. Also tell you that it's probably a little bit of time away before they're approved. The Board of Regents has to vote on them. They have to be inputted. There's a lot of devil in the details, but they're coming. Justin Gilmore, thank you very much for your presentation. I know we've met a couple of times. I wanted to, first of all, thank you. This summer, in the summer camp, Justin, through this guy knows a lot of people, I got to tell you. He connected with a, I want to say Georgetown, a basketball team, and had them video right into our girls basketball program so that he could connect a big-time college program with our high school girls as we try and build our girls program up, Justin. So I know your contacts are real. I know your heart is authentic and in the right place and sincere. I'm super proud that you're a substitute in an area that we need. It's awesome that kids can see you in Niagara Falls High School. And I think that you have some elements of a good program that we'll talk about more. I just wanted to see if I could test my memory of sports. Did you know a Teddy Bridgewater and a Peyton Siva? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. see, I pulled that out, and I know they're Louisville graduates in the NFL and in the NBA, so I just wanted to demonstrate that I knew a little bit of something about Louisville sports. So I think you have a lot of great elements in there. As always, it's always, I thank Gloria and the Men Standing Strong group for being present and for supporting us, and certainly they have good ideas, and we'll always listen because they only help us. Justin, I also like that 16-mile thing. I think that could be the chapter of or title of a book. 16 miles is a good title, so I wrote that down. Could be, I'm writing down book thoughts, so 16 miles could be the title. I wanted to conclude by congratulating Viola Vaughn, Mr. Vaccarella, Mr. DeMunda. I thought it was great to get those distinguished alumni. Of course, Raven, get a lot of rest. You're going to have a lot of work to do in that Spanish class. We expect those test scores to go up now that you're there. You better get those test scores up, Raven. But we're glad you're with us. We're glad you're on our team. We're glad you represent our schools, and you're a good representative of who we want to be. Members of the board, I'll conclude with one statement. We will not meet again, but next Thursday is Thanksgiving. And I just wanted to say that I am thankful for this school district. I am thankful for our staff. I'm thankful for our community that comes out and always supports us. I'm thankful for the 9 members of this board that always does the right thing by kids. I'm thankful for, most importantly, the 7,011 students that we get to work with every day, and for their parents for sending them to us. So I say, happy Thanksgiving. Please be safe, enjoy your families, and have a wonderful holiday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. We have 3 of our Niagara Falls High School administrators, Cheryl Villardo, Brian Rotella, Nick Ruffalo. My apologies.
It's Nick's night. It's Nick's night.
Is there anything any one of you would like to add?
Be careful there.
I got you.
Let's see, up is off, down is on. Is it?
Those babies are
Be
gonna
careful
look
with the
schematic
conduits. Please, that's electricity. Please be careful.
Thank you. Are we good? Anyone else? No? No, thank you. Board members, Paul Cadell.
I have nothing to add that Mark didn't already say. He's always good with his words, so I echo his sentiments, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thanks, Paul. Mike Capizzi.
Not a thing to add, just happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Clara Dunn.
Nothing, the same. Enjoy your family next Thursday.
Thank you.
Then I have to cook.
Thank you, Clara. Nick Villardo.
I usually don't have too much to say, but tonight I'm going to take Rob Bilson's place tonight, so I had a few words. I want to just congratulate all the honored alumni that we honored tonight. And although I didn't know Viola Vaughn, we graduated in the same class, mainly probably because she was studying and I was in the dean's office, like Mr. Laurie alluded to. But and this is just a sample. We have 28 honored alumni that we've honored over the last few years. And it's just a sample of the good people and the accomplishments that the students that we put through our school district have come to accomplish. And at every graduation, we stand on stage and we shake everyone's hands and pass out diplomas. And I look at these kids, and you look in their eyes. Some are scared, some are happy, and some they know they got a plan, and they really don't know what's in store for them until years later. But it's just nice to see the look in these kids' eyes and what they can accomplish if they put their mind to it. And I know this district under Mr. Laurie's leadership that we're giving these students every opportunity to succeed. in life. So on that, I hope we continue to do that and look forward to some more distinguished alumni. And we have a few more in class of 65, but it's not me, so I'll just let you know. Okay, but anyway, just everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Nick. Jimmy Consemi?
I'd like to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving and a blessed one, and thank God for all that we have gotten.
Thank you, Jimmy. Earl Bass, are you there, Earl, online?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, you're up.
First, I just want to say congratulations to our awardees tonight, the people that we recognize, and to everyone doing hard work. It's great to see the district still pushing the needle forward as we continue to put in that work. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Excuse my absence. I am on duty. I wish I could have been there, but looking forward to getting back after the break and doing more work. Enjoy your time with your family. Thank you.
Thanks, Earl. Tony Pareto?
I'd like to congratulate our honorees tonight. It's beautiful to do that kind of stuff. I was telling some of the, and so was Mark, some of the families that were here on how our plans are for like a monument type park outside of our athletic facility, or right in our athletics facility. And they were excited about it. But it was nice to see all the families here and all you good folks that have come out on this very mild night. But your input is always welcome. Again, happy Thanksgiving and have a blessed one. Thanks for your prayers also. And that's it. I'm good. Enjoy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Tony. It's all been said tonight. I wish to thank everyone for sharing their valuable time with us. Saying that, we will adjourn in the memory of the following people that unfortunately will no longer be with us. Richard DeVita, who is the father-in-law of Ashley Hardy, father-in-law of Mike Hardy, uncle to Stacy Dean and Brian Dean. Myrtle Gilbreth, mother of Mitch Gilbreth, retired groundskeeper. Edward McGreevy, retired social studies teacher. And Edith Pinelli, retired teacher. Saying that, motion for adjournment in memory of those people. Thanks, Jimmy. Paul, all in favor? Aye, and good night, everybody, and thank you for coming.